Right, so, just a bit of a preamble. I'm hoping to do individual video reviews a bit more frequently. Every time I've been meaning to, I just sort of procrastinate on. Like, I was going to do a one for Mandalorian and Grogu, which will be this one. I've been trying to do that since I saw it last week. Because it was an off week. It was an off week last week, so just anyway. So yes, I will still have my reviews in my White Regis TV review, but I'm also hoping to do this sort of bit of a individual video, a bit more detailed depth. Alright, so that's enough of a preamble from me. Yes, so Mandalorian and Grogu. I know it's been out. This is its second weekend? Second or third weekend, yeah. But I did see it. Technically opening weekend, because it was the Friday to the Monday. Because that was Bank Holiday Monday. Yeah, so Mandalorian and Grogu, latest film, Star Wars film, sequel to Season 3 of The Mandalorian TV show. Pedro Pascal is Din Djarin, Mandalorian bounty hunter who, as a apprentice Grogu, hired by the New Republic to rescue Road to the Hutt from the Clone Wars movie. In exchange for information, yeah, there's a little there's a Clone Wars Easter egg in Mandalore, as they use his image from Clone Wars. Yeah, the film also stars Jeremy Allen White and Sigourney Weaver. So, I think there's no getting around the fact people have been a bit disappointed with Mandalorian Season 3 and, well, Book of Boba Fett, because Book of Boba Fett was terrible. Even the writers thought Book of Boba Fett was terrible, because they started writing it as Mandalorian Season 2.5. Yeah, and then Season 3 was... I wouldn't know without pulling up my serialized review at the moment, but off the top of my head. But yeah, Season 3 was a bit of a sour note, I feel. It was... But, yeah, I think, if you loved Season 1 and you loved Season 2, you're going to like the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. And I really liked it, In a good way, it feels like more of the TV show. Which, it does feel like an extended episode of television, which I noticed a lot of critics put as a negative thing in their reviews. But I actually think that works to the film's strength, because, it's inevitably going to end up on Disney+. The TV show is a Disney Plus original, so it's obviously built for streaming. And, the film will end up on its natural home, Disney Plus, where it'll just feel like, a bit of a... it'll be essentially an addendum to the TV show. So I actually think that the fact that it feels like episodes of a TV show works in its strength, just simply because of how the media landscape is changing, and that the film will end up on Disney, its natural home of Disney Plus. That's just... So I think, even while watching it, you're thinking that in watching it in cinema, and you're just like, yes, this will end up on Disney Plus. It feels like television. That's completely fine. Because, well, they've obviously started, there's been a thing in recent years of putting event television episodes in cinemas, like the series finale of The Boys was in cinemas in America. I also really like Pedro Pascal in it. I'd say I'm a big Pedro Pascal fan, but I like him in Last of Us, I like him in Mandalorian, I liked him in Gladiator, liked him in Game of Thrones, just he does a good job. I know I did see some reviews where they criticised him for being very monotone with the voice. And this is not a spoiler because it's in the trailer. So anything that's in the trailer is not anything in the trailer is not a spoiler. So like when he gets unmasked, and he starts he gets to start acting with his face, and he's great with that. So I think that is part of the performance. I also thought the film is visually stunning because it's obviously filmed for IMAX. So there are IMAX sequences, like sequences filmed in the IMAX ratio, and they look absolutely incredible. There's a lot of films with excuse me. There's a lot of films with IMAX ratio sequences too. They do look incredible, but usually think of Christopher Nolan movies for that. Also, one thing I can't believe I completely forgot to write in my Letterboxd review, was that the music of the film was great. Right? I completely forgot because I was eating. I was eating lunch afterwards and after the movie, and I was trying to write my review on crappy public Wi-Fi. Yeah, I had like 3 different things going on at once. I couldn't. But yeah, the music was great. Like there were like orchestral pieces that were like emotional. Like there's I think it is in the trailer, but there's a scene where Grogu's meditating on a rock, and there's like this big orchestral piece. That was one that really stuck out to me. But yeah, I really did enjoy the music, and I don't tend to notice a whole lot of film music. Like I love the score to Inception. I love the score to Inception. That's one I always I love listening to. But there is also but yeah, this one was pretty impressive. Also, one thing I did really like, I think I took note of in my Letterboxd review. You'll have to check it out on Letterboxd if I'm mistaken. But one thing I picked up of, it feels very much like a Father's Day film. Like it's not being released on it's not being released on Father's Day. It's like a month ahead of Father's Day. But the film very much has like Father's Day themes. Like, they're grappling, Jaren's very much grappling with, one day he's going to die and Grogu will be on his own. And, he's been very much a father figure to Grogu, where, even where he gets called his dad. So I thought that really stood out for me while I was watching the film. And the film is funny. There are a lot of gags in it. Grogu's messing with ship controls and whatnot, and pressing wrong buttons, and it was actually quite funny. So yeah, but I think a lot of how you are going to look at this film boils down to whether or not you can accept it as feeling like episodic television as part of a film, because it really it does very much feel like a straight to streaming film that just happened to end up in a cinema, but in a good way. So yeah, that is yeah, I don't know really what else to say. I've sort of really said everything on my mind. But yes, thank you for watching. I will try and get out more individual reviews. Maybe see if I look at what else I watched during a week. See if that can be turned into an individual review. And these will obviously get uploaded. I say a bit more frequently, but I'll be doing them a bit infrequently. But they'll be uploaded at like random times. So, or they'll be uploaded ahead of my White Regis TV review. So it'll be a bit of a sneak preview. I really hadn't planned this out. Anyway, thank you for watching. See you next time.